that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, the Bank of Jamaica is calling for a more structured approach to implementing increases for bus and taxi fares going forward.
Leading financial scholars at the Brookings Institute say Jamaica's fiscal miracle would be near impossible to replicate in larger economies.
President of the MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall, says courier services can expect a boost in business amid increase in duty-free threshold.
Expectations that we'll have a bump in e-commerce business. Now let's test this effect.
Corporal Rohan James accused of going behind Police Federation Central Committee when he filed contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court last year.
The matter was filed without the knowledge of the Central Committee. After it was filed, we realized that there were items in there that we did not agree to.
The Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society says the police high command must explain its decision to remove gender designations from the force.
In news from the rest of the world, UN report says 53,000 Haitians have fled the capital in less than 3 weeks amid a surge in gang violence in the country.
Israel is facing growing international pressure over an airstrike that killed 7 aid workers.
In headline sports, a Jamaican 400-meter runner is banned for 2 years for doping violation.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, property tax compliance. The mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, says 57% of landowners in St. James are either in arrears or non-compliant with their property taxes. What pertains in other parishes? Mayor Vernon, along with the mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, will join us.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's in your car to know that the duty-free threshold has been raised to US $100? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, should more be done to remedy the injustice that was inflicted on the Rastafarian community during the Coral Gardens incident? Members of the community will tell us.
From 7 to 8, it's Nature's Remedies with Dr. Denise Daly.
At 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre MacDonald.
And at 9 p.m., it's Affairs of the Heart with Rodney Campbell. Tonight's topic is bun for bun, fear in a relationship.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, April 2, 2024.
News at 5 is brought to you by the new Crunch Sandwich from KFC. Available in hot and spicy or barbecue for just $600. A finger-licking good deal at KFC.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. The Bank of Jamaica BOJ is calling for a more structured approach to implementing increases for bus and taxi fares going forward. The central bank made the call during its latest monetary policy decision announced on Sunday. In the same announcement, the BOJ agreed to hold its policy rate despite concerns over inflation. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Jamaica's headline inflation rate in February 2024 of 6.2% remains above the bank's target of 4 to 6%. The BOJ attributes the higher-than-targeted inflation impact on the first of two increases in public passenger vehicle fares that came into effect in October 2023. It also takes into account the effect of wage increases throughout the economy. The Bank of Jamaica says some changes in regulated prices do not reflect current demand conditions and could potentially reduce the effectiveness of its monetary policy in managing inflation. In this regard, it noted the need for more structured approaches to implementing these price changes. The criticism comes days after Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a further increase in the minimum wage to $15,000 for a 40-hour work week. The central bank says inflation is projected to remain above the bank's target range over the March 24 to June 25 quarters, primarily due to the continuing impact of past and impending increases in PPV fares. The policy decision came out before announcements by the government that the second round of PPV fare increases had been placed on indefinite hold. It says without the impact of the two increases in PPV fares, inflation would fall within the target range of 4 to 6% for most of 2024. But despite the concerns over inflation, the BOJ remains bullish about Jamaica's economic standing. International commodity prices and shipping costs continue to decline. The exchange rate has remained generally stable, as have strong tourism and remittance inflows. The bank says the Jamaican economy continues to expand, which supports increases in aggregate demand for goods and services. Real gross domestic product for the December 2023 quarter is estimated to have grown within the range of 1 to 3%, and there are signs that the economy continue to expand in the March 2024 quarter. The BOJ says buoyancy in the economy is mirrored in the decline in the unemployment rate in October 2023 to a record low of 4.2%. The Bank of Jamaica says the risk to gross domestic product GDP forecast over the next 8 quarters are assessed to be on the upside. This means that actual GDP growth is likely to trend higher. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Leading financial scholars attached to the Brookings Institute say Jamaica's fiscal miracle would be difficult, if not impossible, to replicate in larger economies such as the United States and Germany. The authors include advisor to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Circa and Arsenalp, Berkeley University Professor Barry Eichengreen and Stanford University Professor Peter Blair Henry. Professor Blair Henry is himself a Jamaican-born economist. The three conclude that Jamaica's unique social and political circumstances contributed heavily to its fiscal stability and success. Ricardo Brooks tells us more.
The Brookings Institute, based in Washington, D.C., is one of the world's leading research groups dedicated to improving governance and policy on a global scale. According to their article dubbed Sustained Debt Reduction, the Jamaica Exception, at a time when many countries, large and small, are confronting heavy and growing public debt burdens, Jamaica offers a rare example of a country that succeeded in substantially reducing its debt. The matter became a topic at the Brookings Papers on Economic Activity (BPEA) conference on Sunday, March 28. Jamaica cut its debt as a percentage of its gross domestic product (GDP) in half, from 144% in 2012 to just 72% in 2023. This is further projected to fall to 60% by 2028. According to the authors, fiscal responsibility began in Jamaica with the Fiscal Responsibility Framework introduced in 2010. This required all finance ministers to reduce budget deficits to zero and the debt-to-GDP ratio to 100% by 2016. The framework was further augmented in 2014. The article suggests Jamaica's success in reducing political polarization since the end of the 1970s created an environment that allowed all stakeholders to come together to tackle the common burden of debt reduction. This led to the creation of the Partnership for Jamaica Agreement and ensured broad national acceptance of the Economic Program Oversight Committee (EPOC). The authors conclude that meaningful debt reduction was accomplished only when Jamaica put in place a set of rules anchoring fiscal policy and a series of partnership agreements. The analysis of Jamaica left the authors pessimistic regarding the ability to repeat the country's success in economies such as Germany and the United States. This is due to the lack of fiscal flexibility caused by the complex nature of their economies and the high levels of political polarization that currently exists, reducing the possibility of wide buying among stakeholders. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall, says courier services can expect an increase in business following the increase in the duty-free threshold on personal items from $50 to $100. The measure, which was announced last November, took effect on April 1. This means people who shop online and import items through courier agencies will be able to purchase items valued at $100 without being charged custom fees. Mr. Wignall says the increase is widely embraced.
Expectation is that we'll have a bump in e-commerce business. Now that takes effect, a lot of people who would have been holding shopping in their carts from their various places, whether it is Shein, Amazon, Fashion Nova, etc. Today they would have pressed the purchase button and those would have been on their way now to the overseas warehouses to the ship to Jamaica. People are going to shop a little bit more because they can get a little bit more duty free. So an expected bump in business in e-courier's business. Will the doubling of the de minimis value see an increase in those companies? Probably not, probably marginally. I think we're at the saturation levels for courier companies. There are really too many of them.
Mr. Wignall adds that the increase in duty-free threshold may give rise to competition for local manufacturers.
For those who manufacture locally, manufacture and sell products that can be bought abroad and shipped via e-commerce, those businesses will take a hit as well, or continue to take a hit, even more so now with the duty-free allowance. They would have been impacted by the advent of e-commerce courier companies. But people have to adapt, people have to be agile in their business, especially those businesses that have volatile customer base. Those businesses have to be now a little bit more creative in how they do their marketing. Probably they themselves can do online selling.
Donovan Wignall, president of the MSME Alliance.
Meanwhile, Managing Director at Jamaica Trading Services Limited, Mitzi Gordon Burke Green, says ocean cargo and air freight customers are hailing the increase of the duty-free threshold. The threshold for Jamaicans returning at the airport with goods bought overseas has moved to $1,000 up from $500.
For simplification, previously we would have 2 barrels that the $500 can apply to. Currently, they will get an additional barrel for the allowance. With devaluation, the value of things are a little bit higher. So when we do the conversion on this side, so it is good for the customers that they are able to get an additional allowance.
Mitzi Gordon Burke Green, the Managing Director at Jamaica Trading Services Limited.
Newly installed chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Inspector Blanche Codner, says former chairman Corporal Rohan James went behind the back of the Federation's Central Committee when he filed contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court last year. This follows a letter shared on social media by Corporal James, asserting that the Federation colluded with the High Command to replace him as chairman. Mahiri Stewart has that report.
Corporal James cites his decision to file contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court in relation to the JCF's failure to implement court orders for an overtime system as the reason for his ousting as Police Federation chairman. He claims that the organization has put the matter on hold to ensure that they remove him from the Central Committee of the Federation. This, he claims, is a ploy to have the matter withdrawn from the court. However, Inspector Codner has labeled Corporal James's comments as lies. Speaking on Nationwide this morning, Inspector Codner says Corporal James blindsided the Federation's Central Committee in the manner in which he filed the proceedings.
That's the farthest thing from the truth. We have had discussion as a Central Committee. The matter was filed without the knowledge of the Central Committee. After it was filed, we realized that there were items in there that we did not agree to. Case in point, the former chairman, was requesting that some public officials be arrested at no time did the Central Committee took a decision that any member, any public official should be arrested.
Inspector Codner says some of the proceedings have since been withdrawn. She says the Federation is seeking to come to an agreement with the High Command outside of court.
Withdraw the matter and make an amendment and for it to be refiled.
Oh, so okay, what now becomes a substantive part of the new filing?
Okay, so since the matter has been withdrawn, we have met with the High Command and we are satisfied that they are making good progress in resolving the issues. So if it is that the issues are being resolved, we don't see the need for the matter to go back to the court. If two parties can agree to settle a matter outside of court, why would we want to go to court to waste the court time?
Inspector Codner maintains that she, as the new chair, has the full support of the Federation's Central Committee.
Well, I can speak for the Central Committee. We are unified and we are working together as a team to ensure that our members have proper representation.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
You're listening to Nationwide at 5. More news after these.
Value Drug Pharmacy offers curbside pickup and delivery of your branded and generic drugs. WhatsApp your prescription to 876-881-6695. The time by Value Drug Pharmacy is
15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial is the expert in pest control, air purification and hygiene services. Call today 876-926-4236.
The temperature by Rentokil is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay.
Real estate dealers and salesmen, this year's licensing period is almost here. Skip the hassle and take advantage of the Real Estate Board's new direct online client portal payment platform. Go to our client portal and create an account to get started. Whether you're paying license fees, penalties, or continuing professional development courses, status notifications give you the peace of mind that your payments were successful and emails with meeting links for your courses. Use the Real Estate Board's new client portal payment platform. Get on with the business of turning houses into homes.
Continuing the news. The Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, JCHS, says the Police High Command must explain its decision to remove gender designations from the force in light of the global push for transgender rights. The constabulary force announced over the Easter holiday that it was removing the term woman from the ranks of constable, corporal and inspector. But advocacy officer at JCHS, Philippa Davis, says the move raises concerns in light of current international trends regarding gender distinctions in public life. Shalois Michael has more in this report.
The JCF says the announcement represents what it describes as a new era in gender-neutral terminology. Ms. Davis says that requires an explanation.
So we are seeing this context in our present day, whether in Jamaica, the Caribbean, or across the world, moves to remove the distinction between male and female under the context, or rather the term of being gender neutral. But what is the intention? What is the aim of doing so? What we have seen in other countries, certainly the developed West, is the advance of the transgender ideology, where there is this removal of being male and female and considering all humans to be fluid, your identity to be fluid, and you can choose to be whatever you are or whatever you choose to be.
The JCF has not made any connection between the move and the transgender rights. It says the decision is a critical step in its ongoing transformation. In a post on social media, the force noted that the decision was a shift in cultural dynamics and recognized that there are no distinctions in the valor and capabilities of its male and female members. But Ms. Davis is questioning what policy advantage the JCF hopes to realize from its decision.
The fact is that there are male and female members of the JCFI. This is a fixed designation. We are either male or female. It is biological. Our genes are written either XY or XX. That will never ever go away. So what then is the policy advantage? What is the social advantage or benefit of removing a designation? The constable will either be female or male. So why remove the designation?
But it would appear those questions are out of step with women's rights activist Indy McLymont Lafayette and Lynette Vassell, who've hailed the move as a progressive step forward. Miss Davis is not convinced.
What exactly is progressive about removing a designation of being female or male? What is the progress being sought? Where will it go? So when female activists say that this is progressive, well, I would want to know, did the female members of JCF agitate for this removal of this designation? How is it seen to be progressive or advantageous or advancing their cause within the force? These are questions we want to ask. We should not simply get up and follow trends because other nations are doing it.
Women have held gender-specific titles in the JCF since they were first admitted 75 years ago in 1949. Shaloy Smigel for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
A United Nations report released on Tuesday says more than 53,000 people have fled Haiti's capital in less than 3 weeks, the vast majority to escape unrelenting gang violence. More than 60% of those displaced are headed to Haiti's rural southern region. But this is worrying for the UN. UN spokesman Stéphane Dujarric says humanitarian groups in the rural southern region do not have sufficient infrastructure and host communities do not have sufficient resources. The UN International Organization for Migration says the southern region already hosts more than 116,000 Haitians who previously left Port-au-Prince. The exodus from the capital of some 3 million people began shortly after powerful gangs launched a series of attacks on government institutions at the end of February. Gunmen have burned police stations, opened fire on the main international airport that remains closed, and stormed Haiti's 2 biggest prisons, releasing more than 4,000 inmates.
In news further afield, Israel is facing growing international pressure over an airstrike that killed 7 aid workers for the charity World Central Kitchen in Gaza. Several countries, including the UK, Poland, Australia, Canada, and the United States, whose nationals died in the attack, have reacted harshly. Humanitarian aid to Gaza is now in doubt, with the charity suspending its operations. The Israeli president has apologized for the deaths. 3 of the killed aid workers were British nationals. A Polish national, an Australian, a Palestinian, and a dual U.S.-Canadian citizen were also killed. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that Israel's forces hit innocent people and pledged an independent investigation. The charity organization has served 42 million meals in Gaza, making it one of the main suppliers of aid in the Strip. According to the U.S.-funded Aid Worker Security Database, more than 196 aid workers have been killed in Gaza since October last year.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the Bank of Jamaica is calling for a more structured approach to implementing increases for bus and taxi fares going forward.
Leading financial scholars at the Brookings Institute say Jamaica's fiscal miracle would be near impossible to replicate in larger economies.
President of the MSME Alliance says courier services can expect a boost in business amid increase in the duty-free threshold.
Expectation is that we'll have a bump in e-commerce business. No, that's the effect.
Corporal Rohan James accused of going behind Police Federation Central Committee when he filed contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court last year.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robeanne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
News at 5 was brought to you by the new Crunch Sandwich from KFC. Available in hot and spicy or barbecue for just $600. A finger-licking good deal at KFC.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's quarter miler Tiffany James has been sanctioned by the Athletics Integrity Unit stemming from 3 whereabout failures within 12 months. The 27-year-old James was handed a 2-year ban by the AIU. James, a former under-20 world 400 meters champion and a 2-time world silver 4x400 meters relay medalist, has been listed on the AIU website as one of 22 athletes sanctioned in March alone. Her ban will run through the rest of this year and most of 2025. She'll only be eligible again to compete on November 4, 2025. The suspension took effect on June 19 last year. Members of Jamaica's victorious Carifta Games teams are due back on the island this evening at 6:30 after topping the medal table for a 38th straight time. The team was originally due back at 4:50 this afternoon, but the flight delay in the destination where they're coming from. Now, the Jamaicans won a total of 84 medals, more than half of that gold, 45, with 23 silver and 16 bronze. 4 Jamaicans, Nicoy Bramwell in the under-17 boys 400 meters, Robert Miller in the boys under-17 400 hurdles, Javante Smith in the under-17 boys shot put, and Jada Robinson in the under-17 girls triple jump all established new games records. The Bahamas was next in the medal standings. They got 35, including 9 gold, 13 silver, and 13 bronze. Trinidad and Tobago followed next, 27 gold, in fact 27 medals totally, 4 gold, 11 silver and 12 bronze, and the host Grenada was the only other of the 20 countries to record a double-digit medal haul with 13. Team manager Shireen Richards spoke to Nationwide Sports about another dominant Jamaican display.
Mr. Dyke, Mr. Carr, Mr. Sergeant, Mr. Reed from Foga Road, Mr. Wignall, they're all here, and Mr. Grant as well, working with the athletes. You have to remember, yes, they're coming out of champs. They have their coaches. Nobody's trying to change anything over a weekend, but we're trying to get them oiled, and, we collaborate with their personal coaches to make sure that this is what they normally do. People warm up differently. The team is working pretty well together. I must say I'm enjoying the experience with these coaches. They're pretty easy to work with. And even though all of them are champions in their own right, they all gel well together, actually. And the athletes listen.
Shireen Richards, team manager next year's Carifta Games, the 52nd stage, and is set for Trinidad and Tobago. And the Team Jamaica continues to make big moves in the Bahamas at the 37th Carifta Swimming Championship. Following their performance on days 1 and 2, Team Jamaica had some outstanding swims last night, increasing their medal count to 31, 11 gold, 8 silver, and 12 bronze. Kai Alert and Kai Radcliffe dominated their age group categories, taking gold in the 12 to 11 to 12 girls and 13 to 14 boys categories respectively. Sabrina Lynn captured gold in the 18 and over girls category with a lifetime best 32.54 seconds. Jamaica also bagged the 3 gold in the 100 meters free. Alert won gold in a time of 1 minute 01.81. Alexandria Gogol took silver in a lifetime best 1 minute 96. Nolan Barrett took gold in the 13 to 14 boys category in a time of 54.46 seconds. Compatriot Matthew Kennedy placed a third in 55.84. Lynn secured scored yet another goal with an easy win, clocking 56.69 seconds, a lifetime best. After 3 days of competition, Jamaica is fourth with 405 points behind Trinidad and Tobago, 466, the Cayman Islands 495, and the home team Bahamas in first place, well out front, 804 points. Team manager Annalise Denny says the Jamaicans had to quickly adapt to the weather conditions.
Bahamas is quite chilly right now, so a lot of the swimmers are a little cold, and the water is much colder than we're accustomed to. So we've had a mixed bag of results in terms of best times, but the swimmers are pleased. The medals are beautiful, and we're very excited by that. They're very big. They're in a box, a nice presentation box that has a lovely, logo on the front. And then in the velvet box, the medal is in there. The ribbon is tucked behind the medal where it's stored. And then on the front, there's an image of the dolphin with their logo for the competition. And they're just very beautiful.
Annalise Denny, the meet ends tonight with all finals. And finally in sports at this time, Tottenham Hotspur today missed a chance to move into the top four of the English Premier League after they were held to a 1-1 draw by West Ham United in the London derby at the Olympic Stadium. Both goals came in the first 20 minutes of play, with Kurt Zouma scoring in the 19th minute to cancel out Brennan Johnson's 4th minute West Ham lead.
To Timo Werner, who can drive one in, and there's the opening goal. It's scored by Brennan Johnson. Tottenham Hotspur ahead inside 5 minutes, and Brennan Johnson, who was the key provider in the comeback against Luton on Saturday, is the goal scorer tonight for Tottenham, who lead West Ham by 1-0. Corner taken by Bowen, flicked on and flicked in, and the captain with the equalising goal for West Ham United, Kurt Zouma's header, and with the rain pouring down in London's East End, it's West Ham 1, Tottenham 1.
The result leaves Spurs 2 points away from a Champions League place currently occupied by Aston Villa. In other results today, Newcastle United and Everton ended 1-1. Nottingham Forest defeated Fulham by 3-1. Bournemouth stopped Crystal Palace by 1-0, while Wolverhampton Wanderers and Burnley, they played out a 2-2 draw in the British Midlands. And that will do it for sports. We're going to be back at 6:05 with much more.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hyundai, the home of modern premium affordable vehicles. Call us at 876-630-1511. The time by Hyundai is
5:31.
You didn't know that the government decreased JUTC bus fares? Yes, it's now 70 for adults, 25 for children, and 30 for pensioners. And in April, fares will go down even further to 50 for adults, 20 for children, and 25 for pensioners.
The temperature by the office of the Prime Minister is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 28 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Stand out among competitors. Show your commitment to quality. Submit your entry in the Bureau of Standards Jamaica National Quality Awards Program. Your entry provides the opportunity for a free comprehensive assessment of your organization's management system and facilitates improvement in effectiveness and efficiency. This prestigious award associates your organization with performance excellence. Step into a world of excellence. Gain access to international markets. Enter today.
Call 618-1534. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, making standards work for you.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis, weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through an Olympic final.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Nobly Williams-Mills coming, McCrory flapping, her arms are waving, and Nobly Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's goal.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment! Let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering goal for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
You have been asking for justice. Well, get justice. The Ministry of Justice presents Get Justice, a program focused on giving Jamaicans information on how to resolve their conflicts and access justice services. The series will highlight the justice services of the ministry to include social justice, estate planning, legal aid, and expungement. Join the discussion by calling 876-630-93714 or participate via their social media pages at MOJOfficialJM on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Get Justice with the Ministry of Justice every Thursday at 11 a.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Ministry of Justice, come access quality service.
MOJ taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you started?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships.
Good afternoon. 22 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us here Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Who are you? Why are you here? You're a migrant.
Good afternoon to the listeners, and good afternoon to you, Cliff Hughes.
Welcome to Nationwide at 5.
Thank you, sir. You know, I was thinking to myself, when your story is told, there's going to be at least a paragraph or a chapter.
Uh-huh.
Say you boss youths. You boss the youths. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
And you have begun a new phase in your journey.
Yes.
A new leg.
Yes.
Of your journalistic career. Yes. Nationwide at 5. A different kind of program than Nationwide this morning.
So I'm seeing. So I'm recognizing.
Tends to be a little bit more cerebral.
Is that right?
Yes.
I wouldn't have used that word. A little more staid, perhaps.
But nonetheless, you're going to find it a little different.
Yes.
Yes? It's drive time traffic. You have to bear that in mind. People are going home and turning on their radios or their instruments to find out what happened since they tuned in this morning.
Yes.
Yeah? And that is going to require a little difference. Yeah? But more on. Yeah? You'll get the hang of it very quickly.
I will apply myself.
Sure. So let's turn to the cover story. The new mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, is faced with the task of getting a handle on several issues in local governance in the parish. According to Mayor Vernon, in St. James, a parish where just over 60,000 parcels of land are registered, 57% of owners are either in arrears or non-compliant with their taxes.
Now, Mr. Vernon is serious about collecting the nearly $3 billion he says is owed to the St. James Municipal Corporation. The problem is not just in St. James, but a problem facing most of the municipal corporations across the island. However, Portmore and Trelawney are two of the outstanding corporations that have a good compliance rate. We will look at the challenges facing at least two of the municipal corporations.
First of all, we begin with the mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis. And Mayor Vernon, we're trying to reach you without any luck, Mayor Vernon. The numbers we have for you, you're not picking up on those. But we're going to begin with Mayor Belnavis of St. Anne's Bay. Good afternoon, Mayor Belnavis.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First of all, how many parcels of land you have registered in St. Anne? There's 60,000 in St. James. How many you have in St. Anne?
Well, it's broken up by area. So in St. Anne's Bay, we have 24,000. Brownstone, over 33,000. Orchard, somewhere in the 45,000. But there are other areas like Money and so which has 10,000 parcels. So, a parcel of land is essentially, it varies based on ownership.
Mm-hmm. So based on those numbers, you have about 120,000 parcels in those areas. I did a quick math as you were going along. 120,000 parcels.
In total across the parish?
Yes, based on the numbers you gave.
So far, yes. But there are other areas where there are smaller parcels and large parcels based on the farming areas.
Mm-hmm.
That's all used to be several large parcels owned by a few people. Now it has more parcels because they're all been subdivided and into shopping centers and so on. So the parcels vary based on the size.
Mm-hmm. And what's the compliance rate like in St. Anne in terms of property taxes?
The compliance rate in St. Anne has been respectable. Between 2020 and 2024, we've had a 10% increase in compliance. We're up to 90% for the last fiscal period. We had well over 111% in 2020, 2021, and 2020.
Hold on. You had 111% compliance rate?
Yes, with a target of 737,715,000. And we were at 817 million. And you know, with
Well,
those
who you
numbers,
get
so
more than
we're
100% though?
Yeah,
of target.
what are the strategies that achieve that target?
Well, what we were able to do is straight marketing. We had the Ministry of Local Government gave us a tax bus, which was all branded, and we went into various districts and into the town of Ocho, Finance Bay, Brownstown, and so on. And we essentially made it easy for the individual to come and pay their taxes. Plus, the tax department in and around St. Anne's Bay and so on is very customer-oriented. If you go there, even though during COVID it was a bit difficult, you know, in terms of people going in and out, but they'll pull you out of the line and try and assist you. Older folks, very much oriented to customer service. You would never believe it. It's a government office.
So Mayor Vernon,
customer service issues are paying off.
Mayor Vernon, good afternoon. What are you doing wrong over there in St. James then?
Good afternoon. Good evening to you, the listeners and colleagues. Good evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
What are we doing wrong in St. James? I'm just catching up on the conversation.
Yes, because in St. Anne,
context,
in St. Anne, they've been able to exceed their collection targets in terms of property taxes. You've been in the media bemoaning the fact that you can't get the people in St. James to pay. What's wrong with the strategies you're using?
It's not a matter of what is wrong with the strategies. There are two things that we have to look at. One, you have compliance rate, and two, you have targets. So the target, for example, say is $1 billion for the fiscal year. We achieve that target, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are getting compliance at a high level, because that target of $1 billion is what is set as an achievable rate figure that we aspire to, and we get it. The compliance now is the percentage of the population or the title owners that are paying, and that is at 43. We may very well have that 43 equaling $1 billion, but it means that we could be collecting $3 billion.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So what we have now is a 43% compliance. When you look at the population that has registered titles, and we are only getting 43% of that. Now we are encouraging more people, more title holders who are alive, and those who are, the heirs or next of kin, or what you may call it, but you are in succession to take up ownership of that property. Therefore, you are responsible for it. And once you're responsible for it, we expect you to pay. It's not that we're just getting up and asking persons, pay your property taxes, because we want persons to pay property taxes because we love to collect taxes. But we want to offer more effective and efficient services that will come about by us being able to employ persons with the capacity who are able to carry out those services.
When we come back from the mayor, Mayor Vernon, Mayor Belnavis, when we come back from the break, we pick up on those points. Stay with us.
Clearing personal non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:47.
Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. When you're good, you're just good. Hey, had the national flavor. You go want to buy this pack. So good, it's just so good. Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. National Baking Company, just so good.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. We're on the cover story. We have with us the Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, as well as the Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, talking about property tax compliance in both parishes. Before the break, Mayor Vernon, you gave us a distinction between the targets and the compliance rate. And I wondered whether you had disaggregated the arrears in terms of whether commercial property owners versus homeowners, just domestic homeowners, were the ones who were most in arrears.
Well, most of what we have are between the property value, $1 million to $7 million. So most of those are not commercial owners. They are mostly homeowners, and obviously many of them fall within the formal settlements. And we have had in many instances very formal settlements falling at 30% compliance, 40% compliance. So we often move around in these areas with our property tax unit, encouraging persons to come out. We have not gone the way of enforcing. I don't recall us doing that at any point in time. Rather, we encourage moral suasion, which is not always the best option to get the best compliance, but we do it nonetheless. We go, we ask you to come and pay property taxes. We tell you why you need to pay property taxes, because I believe that if the payment is justified, then persons will support or give partnership to the effort. So that is what we do. And we're talking about property tax, then we're therefore talking about how local government is financed, and the local authority in particular.
Right.
So we have the property taxes.
So with your compliance rate hovering around 40%, clearly the moral suasion, it's not really working out. At what point will you decide that enforcement now is the way to go?
Well, we have to do some more consultation and communication with the people. So we are now ramping up our town hall meetings and our community meetings. And at that stage, we are going to push harder in terms of sensitization, because persons will not pay the property taxes for various reasons. And we want to know why, and to see how best we can, in that why, figure out how to encourage you to pay. And that is what we are going to do. We have already scheduled the meetings for the year. We have about 2 meetings per month planned. And we have 2 main town hall meetings that we'll have, one in about August and one closer to the end of the fiscal year. So what we'll do with the one in about August is to bring the budget to the people. But before we bring that budget, we're going to hear from the people of St. James what exactly they're expecting from their local authority. Conceptualize the approach to the budget, and then we put it in the budget that is due in October. And having executed as well as we can, we'll come back again in March of next year to tell them what we have done and where we are with these processes.
Mayor Bill Davis, of the taxes you collect in St. Anne's, yes, where do you spend most of it?
Well, first of all, the taxes that we collect are based on unimproved values. So as the areas get developed and so on, we expect that we'll be getting more taxes from the same land.
Could you speak up a little bit more for me, Mayor?
Right. So I'm saying that the taxes that we collect are essentially unimproved values. So as the areas get developed, like for example, Draxall, we expect to collect more taxes based on improved value. But the question is, how do we spend? What do we spend our monies on? We have something called PRF, Parochial Revenue Fund, which gets sent from the ministry when they collect all of these property taxes. That is spent on street lights, streetscape, like garbage collection, civic improvement, minor water supply, minor roads, things of that nature. So these funds go straight to the day-to-day living of folks in the communities. It goes to the development of the infrastructure of the day-to-day lives of people. So these funds are very important when they get collected. It doesn't go into a central fund for any specific purpose, more so than just to deal with the areas that people rely on to make their lives comfortable.
But does it come into the coffers of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, or it goes into the central government coffers? Where does it go?
It goes to the ministry who...
Which ministry?
Divides it out. Ministry of local government.
Mm-hmm.
Our ministry. Uh-huh. And then they send it back in the form of our PRF, the Local Revenue Fund. Uh-huh. And that PRF breaks down how it is spent. Uh-huh. There's a component where we save back funds, which is our SGR, which is an emergency fund for major damages to hurricanes, fire, floods, anything of that nature.
What's the name of that fund?
SGR.
SGR. What that means?
Yes. Right, and that is...
What do the letters mean? Or what do they stand for?
The SGR is...
Special grants for repairs.
Special grant for repair, yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you, Mayor. Right.
And
I've gotten rusty since I've been on sabbatical.
And Mayor Bill Navis, we heard from Mayor Vernon just now, about moral suasion versus enforcement. Over in St. Anne, what are you relying on more, the moral suasion, or have you been enforcing and saying to people, pay up or else?
Well, we don't take that approach. We do the carrot approach as opposed to the stick approach. So we incent individuals to come and pay. So we make it convenient for them. So we have the bus that will go out to the various areas. Like they go in the middle of Ocho, and they'll collect. And we collect cash. We collect checks, things of that nature. And we make it convenient. Sometimes they have giveaways, prizes, surprises. It's almost like it in a corporate sales collection event. So we don't use the stick approach. However, if someone doesn't pay, then the court is there to deal with those individuals who just won't pay. But they get warned and they work out payment plans, and we try and ensure that whatever is necessary to coax the individual to pay. That is usually the first approach.
But broadly, you're taking the process to them.
Pay, then they carry to the court.
But broadly, you're taking the process to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Mayor Bill Navis.
You find that it's very effective when we do it that way.
Mayor Bill Navis, there's something of a boom going on in your parish, especially the northern coastline of your parish. Yes, from Priory going east. Yes, into Ocherius, that's Ocherius, right. That area, that's Draxall, from Draxall Priory, all of that area seems to be, something of a construction boom. Are you seeing this in terms of your property tax collections?
Well, we started to see it, yes. That's why we're able to hit these these targets. However, what I've found is that we just started to just pinch the tip of the iceberg, because there are a lot of houses that are coming on stretch right now. Mm-hmm. And if you look at that's why I said about the unimproved value. When that gets taken into consideration, with what we're looking at in a few, you'll see that we expect those numbers to increase significantly. Mm-hmm. So yes, along this corridor is significant. More houses are coming, more commercial properties are being developed, and these are nice properties. I mean, the developers are not cutting the corners because they're all.
So my next question is: property values are surging along this strip?
Yes, absolutely, because you're getting more. They're actually getting more. They're getting more lots to collect from, because before we had big parcels of land, and now we're getting more parcels out of the same land. So you're having more parcels to tax. So we're seeing a significant improvement in that arena.
And Mayor Vernon, in terms of the disbursement, the parochial revenue fund, are you getting those disbursements from the local government ministry in a timely manner?
Well, we get them as soon as they're available. I mean, the access that it shall be paid at a certain time of the month. Sometimes we have a lapse in that, but I guess there are several reasons for that. But in terms, I want to say something about the PRF. The PRF is not only property taxes, right? It is also motor vehicle licenses. So the more persons register, license their vehicle, the more we have in the PRF. There's also another thing that we have to be mindful of. The PRF is also determined by the to a large extent the road network that exists within the parish. So we anticipate an increase in PRF spread in the parish based on the new communities that are coming on board. So For example, 30 years ago, we didn't have a Meadows of Irwin, a Montego Bay West Village, you name them. So we have these new developments coming in, and what they will do is ask the local authority to take them over. And when we take them over, they become a responsibility, and that is added to the schedule of roads that we have to take care of. So if we're having the expansion in the network of road that we have to take over, and a less than desirable percentage in the property tax collection, it thins what we have to spend in the maintenance of these road networks. So that is why we appeal to persons to come in and pay the property taxes. Many of the persons who pay, they pay because it is a systematic process, meaning that you will not get a mortgage approval if the property tax is not up to date, or you may be asked by a particular institution because you're going to do a sale of property or something where you have to pay the property taxes. And that is how we get many persons to pay the property taxes. But we want persons who fall outside of that remit, who don't have any transaction to carry out, and need to pay the property tax to realize those transactions, to come in and pay, because it contributes to the greater good of the parish. And it is important that we participate in that process. We like to talk about the things that need to be done by government, but not necessarily the things that we need to do so government can get them done. And that is an important part of the conversation.
Okay. Richard Vernon is the mayor of Montego Bay. Michael Bilnavis, the mayor of St. Anne's Bay. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Good. That's how we're going to leave it for the cover story. The headlines at 6 are next.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan, and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
6 o'clock.
Upgrade your kitchen and bathroom to the next level with Unique Living. They're the ultimate destination for all your kitchen and bathroom needs, from luxurious shower systems to exquisite faucets, vanities, sinks, toilets, closets, and more. They have it all. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call them at 876-755-3661. Elevate your space with Unique Living, where quality meets expectations.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Norige Banton. The Bank of Jamaica BOJ is calling for a more structured approach to implementing increases for bus and taxi fares going forward. The central bank made the call during its latest monetary policy decision announced on Sunday. In the same announcement, the BOJ agreed to hold its policy rate despite concerns over inflation. Jamaica's headline inflation rate in February 2024 of 6.2% remains above the bank's target of 4.6%. The BOJ attributes the higher than targeted inflation impact on the first of two increases in public passenger vehicle PPV fares that came into effect in October 2023. It also takes into account the effect of wage increases throughout the economy. The Bank of Jamaica says some changes in regulated prices do not reflect current demand conditions and could potentially reduce the effectiveness of its monetary policy in managing inflation. In this regard, it noted the need for a more structured approach to implementing these price changes. The criticism comes days after Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a further increase in the minimum wage to $15,000 for a 40-hour work week. The central bank says inflation is projected to remain above the bank's target over the March 2024 to June 2025 quarters, primarily due to the continuing impact of past and impending primarily due to the continuing impact of past and impending increases in PPV fares. The policy decision came out before announcements by the government that the second round of PPV fare increases had been placed on indefinite hold. President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise MSME Alliance, Donovan Wignall, says courier services can expect an increase in business following the increase in the duty-free threshold on personal items from $50 to $100. The measure, which was announced last November, took effect on April 1. This means people who shop online and import items through courier agencies will be able to purchase items valued at $100 without being charged customs fees. Mr. Wignall says the increase is widely embraced.
Expectation is that we'll have a bump in e-commerce business. Now that that's the effect. A lot of people who would have been holding shopping in their carts from their various places, whether it is Shein, Amazon, Fashion Nova, etc. Today they would have pressed the purchase button and those would have been on their way now to the overseas warehouses to be shipped to Jamaica. People are going to shop a little bit more because they can get a little bit more duty free. So an expected bump in business in e-courier's business. Will the doubling of the de minimis value see an increase in those companies? Probably not, probably marginally. I think we're at the saturation levels for courier companies. There are really too many of them.
Mr. Wignall adds that the increase in duty-free threshold may give rise to competition for local manufacturers.
For those who manufacture locally, manufacture and sell products that can be bought abroad and shipped via e-commerce, those businesses will take a hit as well, or continue to take a hit, even more so now with the duty-free allowance. They would have been impacted by the advent of e-commerce courier companies. But people have to adapt, people have to be agile in their business, especially those businesses that have volatile customer base. Those businesses have to be now a little bit more creative in how they do their marketing. Probably they themselves can do online selling.
Donovan Wignall, president of the MSME Alliance. Meanwhile, managing director at Jamaica Trading Services Limited, Mitzi Gordon-Burke-Green, says ocean cargo and air freight customers are hailing the increase of the duty-free threshold. The threshold for Jamaicans returning at the airport with goods bought overseas has moved to $1,000, up from $500.
For simplification, previously we would have 2 barrels that the $500 can apply to. Currently, they will get an additional barrel for the allowance. With devaluation, the value of things are a little bit higher. So when we do the conversion on this side, so it is good for the customers that they are able to get an additional allowance.
Mitzi Gordon-Burke-Green, managing director at Trading Services Limited. Newly installed chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Inspector Blanche Codner, says former chairman Corporal Rowan James went behind the back of the Federation's Central Committee when he filed contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court last year. This follows a letter shared on social media by Corporal James asserting that the Federation colluded with the High Command to replace him as chairman. Corporal James cites his decision to file contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court in relation to the JCF's failure to implement court orders for an overtime system as the reason for his ousting as Police Federation chairman. He claims that the organization has put the matter on hold to ensure that they remove him from the Central Committee of the Federation. This, he claims, is a ploy to have the matter withdrawn from the court. However, Inspector Codner has labeled Corporal James's comments as lies. Speaking on Nationwide this morning, Inspector Codner says Corporal James blindsided the Federation's Central Committee in the manner in which he filed the proceedings.
That's the farthest thing from the truth. We have had discussion as a Central Committee. The matter was filed without the knowledge of the Central Committee. After it was filed, we realized that there were items in there that we did not agree to. He case in point, the chairman, former chairman, was requesting that some public officials be arrested. At no time did the Central Committee took a decision that any public official should be arrested.
Inspector Cordner says some of the proceedings have since been withdrawn. She says the Federation is seeking to come to an agreement with the High Command outside of court.
Withdraw the matter and make an amendment and for it to be refiled.
Oh, so okay, what now becomes a substantive part of the new filing?
Okay, so since the matter has been withdrawn, we have met with the High Command and we are satisfied that they are making good progress in resolving the issues. So if it is that the issues are being resolved, we don't see the need for the matter to go back to the court. If two parties can agree to settle a matter outside of court, why would we want to go to court to waste the court time?
Inspector Cordner, newly installed chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation. And earlier in a story, I mentioned Jamaica's headline inflation rate in February 2024 remains above the bank's target. I said 4.6%. That should be 4 to 6%. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Sports is next.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? Geoland Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. Geoland Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Members of Jamaica's victorious Carifta Games team are due back on the island this evening at 6:30. That's in about 20 minutes' time. After topping the medal table for a 38th straight time, the team was originally due to fly back to the country at 4:50 this afternoon. Now, the Jamaicans won a total of 84 medals, more than half of that gold, 45, 23 silver, and 16 bronze. 4 Jamaicans, Nicoy Bramwell in the under-17 boys 400 meters, Robert Miller in the boys under-17 400 hurdles, Javante Smith in the under-17 boys shot put, and Jada Robinson in the under-17 girls triple jump all established a new record for the games. The Bahamas was next in the line in the medal standings. They've got 35 medals, including 9 gold, 13 silver, and a similar number of bronze. Trinidad and Tobago ended with 27 medals, 4 gold, 11 silver, and 12 bronze. Hosts Grenada was the only other of the 20 countries to record a double-digit medal haul. They bagged 13. Team manager Shireen Richards says the camaraderie between the coaching and management staff was a massive part of the success.
Mr. Dyke, Mr. Carr, Mr. Sergeant, Mr. Reed from Foga Road, Mr. Wignall, they're all here, and Mr. Grant as well, working with the athletes. You have to remember, yes, they're coming out of champs. They have their coaches. Nobody's trying to change anything over a weekend, but we're trying to get them oiled, and, we collaborate with their personal coaches to make sure that this is what they normally do. People warm up differently. The team is working pretty well together. I must say I'm enjoying the experience with these coaches. They're pretty easy to work with. And even though all of them are champions in their own right, they all gel well together, actually. And the athletes listen. That's
Shireen Richards. And next year's Carifta Games, the 52nd staging of the event, will take place in Trinidad and Tobago. And the Jamaica team continues to make big moves in the Bahamas at the 37th Carifta Swimming Championships. Following their performances on days 1 and 2, Team Jamaica had some outstanding swims last night, increasing their medal count to 31, 11 gold, 8 silver, and 12 bronze. Kai Alert and Kai Radcliffe dominated the age group categories, taking gold in the 11 to 12 girls and 13 to 14 boys categories, respectively. Sabrina Lynn captured gold
gold in the 18 and over girls category with a lifetime best 32.54. Jamaica also bagged 3 gold medals in the 100 meters free. Alert won gold in a time of 1 minute 01.81. Alexandria Kogel took silver in a lifetime best 1 minute 96. Nolan Barrett took gold in the 13 to 14 boys category in a time of 54.46. Compatriot Matthew Kennedy placed a third in 55.84. Lynn secured yet another gold with an easy win, clocking 56.69, a new lifetime best. After 3 days of competition, Jamaica lie fourth at 405 points. Trinidad and Tobago, they have 466. The Cayman Islands, 495. And the home team Bahamas, well out front, 804. Team manager Annalise Dennis says the Jamaicans had to quickly adapt to the weather condition.
Bahamas is quite chilly right now. So a lot of the swimmers are a little cold and the water is much, much colder than we're accustomed to. So we've had a mixed bag of results in terms of best times. But the swimmers are pleased. The medals are beautiful and we're very excited by that. They're very big. They're in a box, a nice presentation box that has a lovely, logo on the front. And then in the velvet box, the medal is in there. The ribbon is tucked behind the medal where it's stored. And then on the front, there's an image of the dolphin with their logo for the competition. And they're just very beautiful.
Annalise Denny, the meet ends tonight with all finals. Jamaica's quarter miler Tiffany James has been sanctioned by the Athletics Integrity Unit stemming from 3 whereabout failures within 12 months. The 27-year-old James was handed a 2-year ban by the AIU. James, the former under-20 world 400 meters champion, has been listed on the AIU website as one of 22 athletes sanctioned in March. Her ban will run through the rest of this year and most of 2025. She'll only be eligible again to compete on November 4 next year. The suspension took effect on June 19. Tottenham Hotspur, they today missed a chance to move into the top 4 of the English Premier League after they were held to a 1-1 draw by West Ham United in their London derby at the Olympic Stadium. Both goals came in the first 20 minutes of play. Kurt Zouma scoring on minute 19 to cancel out Brennan Johnson's 4th minute lead.
To Timo Werner, who can drive one in, and there's the opening goal. It's scored by Brennan Johnson. Tottenham Hotspur ahead inside 5 minutes, and Brennan Johnson, who was the key provider in the comeback against Luton on Saturday, is the goal scorer tonight for Tottenham, who lead West Ham by 1-0. Corner taken by Bowen, flicked on and flicked in, and the captain with the equalising goal for West Ham United, Kurt Zouma's header, and with the rain pouring down in London's East End, it's West Ham 1, Tottenham 1.
The result leaves Spurs 2 points adrift of the Champions League place, currently occupied by Aston Villa. The results today, Newcastle United and Everton ended 1-1. Nottingham Forest, they beat Fulham by 3-1. Bournemouth stopped Crystal Palace 1-0. It ended 1-1. In fact, it ended 2-2 between Burnley and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Coach of Jamaica's senior women's cricket team, Shane Brooks, says his expectations are high for the 5 Jamaicans selected to the West Indies squad for the tour of Pakistan. Kate Wilmot, Shadeen Nation, Stefani Taylor, Chanel Henry and Rashada Williams all gained selection to the squad. Wilmot was gaining her first selection. Nation was getting back into the squad after missing out on the tour of Australia in 2023. And Jamaica won both the women's Super 50 and T20 Blaze. Brooks says the players are in the best shape to bring glory to the region.
They are in good shape, they are in good form. So I'm expecting them to do well. I always support picking players when they are peaking and not waiting until they are not at their best. Currently, these ladies just come out of a tournament that they did well. They are, as I said, in the best condition, both mentally, physically, and technically they are in the best shape. So I'm expecting great things from them in Pakistan as they will represent in the region.
That's Shane Brooks. Now, the Republic Bank, Caribbean Premier League CPL and Massive Women's Premier League generated an economic impact of over US $40 million for Barbados during the 2023 tournament. 2023 was the first time that the CPL had returned to Barbados since 2019 and the first time the country had hosted the WCPL matches. There were 6 men's matches and 3 women's matches played in Barbados between August 30 and September 3, with the games taking place at the world-famous Kensington Oval. The total event impact is calculated by world-renowned research organization, YouGov Sport, with the final figure being based on a number of key metrics, including organizer and visitor spends on island media, as well as the commercial value generated from the extensive global TV distribution. One of the main contributing elements was a CPL cohort who were responsible for filling 10,951 hotel rooms per night in Barbados, made up by CPL players, coaches, administrators, TV and media crews, team owner groups, league and franchise event management teams. Other visitor groups associated with the tournament also made a significant contribution to on-island spending during the tournament. Barbados also benefited from the tournament being broadcast around the world, with the CPL's audience reaching 853.5 million total viewers in 2023. Devin Booker scored 52 points actually, as the Phoenix Suns beat the New Orleans Pelicans 124-111 to boost their chances of qualifying for the NBA playoffs. Phoenix is now just a game behind sixth place New Orleans, who occupy the final automatic playoff spot in the Western Conference. As things stand, Phoenix will enter the play-in tournament. The tournament determines the 4 remaining places in the postseason, with 2 teams progressing from each conference. The Phoenix win also means the third-place Minnesota Timberwolves also guaranteed a place in the playoffs. Elsewhere, Jason Tatum and Sam Husser scored 25 points as the Boston Celtics have already secured top spot in the East, beat the Charlotte Hornets 118-104. Orlando held off a late rally from Portland to win 104-103 and to stay fifth in the East. The Indiana Pacers remain on course for an automatic playoff spot in the East after beating Brooklyn 133-111. Tyrese Halliburton top scored with 27 points, and Jalen Smith added 17 off the bench as Indiana remain in 6th spot with a win over Miami. Brooklyn stayed 11th and are all but eliminated from playoff contention. 10th place Atlanta won 113-101, and 9th place Chicago, with both teams on course for a place in the play-in tournament over in the Eastern Conference. And that will pretty much do it for your sports report at this minute. We're going to have sports again tomorrow morning. New news at 6.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is...
the time is 6:20.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
Whether it's a heartfelt eulogy, an inspiring tribute, or a remembrance, place your ads in the Life Tribute section of the Jamaica Observer to remember the extraordinary individuals who have left their mark on this world. The Life Tribute section allows you to share stories, commemorate your loved ones, and keep their memory alive. Find solace in the power of remembrance. Together, we can keep their spirit alive. Book with the Jamaica Observer today. Contact 876-936-9504 for more details.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion, a special one to our friends on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we invite you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. The Easter holiday is done and dusted indeed, and we welcome a new month, April. Yep, the 4th month of the year. I got it right, January, February, March, April. Yeah. And I don't know where the time flying. To, because March just come and done so. And by the time you look, we Jamaicans say by the time you quint, a summer. Next thing, Christmas, we have put up Christmas tree. But let's get to it. Public Opinion today. The duty-free threshold on personal items being imported into Jamaica has increased to $100, and this is up from $50 US. Now, the measure, which was announced last November, it took effect on April 1. Now, what this means, people who shop online and import items through courier agencies will be able to purchase items valued at $100 US without being charged custom fees. I know some of us were welcoming that news. So in public opinion today, we're asking, what's in your cart now that the duty-free threshold has been raised to $100 US? I'm going to start with the comments on our social media platform. Starting on Facebook, Winston is saying kudos to the visionary government. Let me see. Clifton Ricardo Russell says, going to get some tools with the tradesman grant. Okay. Annette Wheeler says, my card passed $2,000. So, no, me can clear it out fast. Yeah, man, $100. Annette Wheeler. Philip Jackson says, this a part of the caring economy. I hope we don't want this. Let me get that right again. This a part of the caring economy. I hope we don't waste this on unproductive stuff, but use it wisely. I mean, to each his own. It depends on what you call unproductive. You know, people have their likes and their dislikes. Carlington Bartley says, first I must give thanks to Andrew Holness and his hard-working administration. I'm in construction, so new tools are in my cart. That is indeed coming from Carlington Bartley. Pamela Bennett says, nothing at this time. She has nothing in her cart at this time. Natalie Winter says, it's a fair enough move. Let me see if I can get... Robert Ranger says nothing is in his cart. On our Instagram platform, if you're just joining us, the question we're putting to you in public opinion, what's in your cart now that the duty-free threshold has been raised to $100 US? On our Instagram platform, Danishka is saying, not one thing in my basket. All right, nothing yet. Let's see. The positive one is saying nothing. Realm JA is saying that my cart is full, but people be mindful of the shipping companies. Some unexpected fees may drop or sudden increase in this. J. Kim is saying no need to rush. It's not going to change by month end. You're waiting for the sales online. Look at that. Would you look at that? Now you can buy up to 100 US stuff and ship it, eh? Jilly Bean says, same thing that was in it when it was $50. All right, take it easy. As a respondent says, you have, it now go end month end. You have time. It's simply, Moy says, she asks me if we have money. Look like we have money put on. Well, we Jamaicans all when we not have it, we have it. Chrissy says, cart clear out. That's a good look. Kimmy Boo is saying that she checked out already. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. I am me. Said not a thing because my check out from midnight on the 1st. Like some people just did a wait for April 1 for drop, Some people just wait for April 1 for them clear out them basket. Let me see if I can get in some more. Pika Campbell says nothing because the shipping company raised everything. So just as the government say what they said, the shipping companies raise their fees too. All right, we have to check that out. Keishan is saying that a Samsung S24 Ultra is in the cart. Wow. I don't know, that's some more than $100 still. Official is saying that, no, Jillian, classroom posters and few clothing items in the cart. Well, you can clear that out. Honeybee says, I guess some people got it like that because we just got this yesterday. Yeah. I tell them, man, some people been a wait. They've been waiting. Michael Raffington says, nothing as yet, but I surely will be taking advantage of this good move. According to Key Joy, her wish list just became her to-do list. Nicey. Nice, bud. And let me see if I can get in this last one. Raquel says school supplies for September. Of course, buy up on school supplies. The earlier, the better, indeed. If you're just joining us, we're inside the court of public opinion. $100 you can now buy things without being charged and ship them without being charged custom fees as of April 1. Let me get to the comments on our YouTube platform real quick. Fabian South says he has tools in his cart. All right, not bad at all. Jacqueline Thomas, what cart we're talking about? Online, if you shop online, now you can spend up to $100 without being charged for custom fees. Yeah. Let me see if I can get some more in. Kirk Allen is saying that he's going to get some colognes. Yeah, man, smell good things. Dr. Scar saying car parts. Yeah. A lot of nice things. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Yvonne Gordon says them will reduce their prices. Who you referring to? The shipping companies? All right, let me see if I can go to our Twitter platform, X. Tevin Johnson says he has nothing in his cart at this point in time. Shanae have some Korean skincare products and a bath suit. A bathing suit. Javon Ramdin says white t-shirts and shorts, and he's thanking the government for this kind of gesture, according to Siobhan Ramdin. $100, it's a good look. Merlin P says, I love this. I was waiting on April to come. Yeah. Justin says, no, I can buy. You can buy me something? Ain't that nice? Look at you, Justin. Much appreciated. Everall Bell says, I have housing fixtures. Yeah, housing fixtures. Yeah. That is definitely awesome. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion this evening. Remember, you do have the option. Oh, and I should say that additionally, the threshold for Jamaicans returning at the airport with goods bought overseas will move to $1,000, and this is up from $500. So all of that effective April 1. That's all the time we have for Public Opinion. Do remember you have the option of agreeing and or disagreeing, as you're entitled to your own opinion. Up next, the Business Report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The temperature by IQ Optical is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Honeybun Limited has made $1 billion investment in a new production facility in Angel St. Catherine, which is set to move to more than double the manufacturing capacity of the baking company. Now, Honeybun signed the long-term lease agreement for the 160,000 square feet facility on Wednesday, March 27. In a news release on Tuesday, Honeybun's Chief Executive Officer, Michelle Chong, says there are, and this is a quote, "These are exciting times. The signing of this lease signifies that the future of the company is bright." And she went on to say that the products are in high demand and we have outgrown our current facility, so we must meet the demand, end quote. Deputy CEO Daniel Chung, he says that the long-term lease of the new 4.5-acre property, which will be operational in the next 7 to 10 months, will initially see Honeybun moving half of its operation from its current Retirement Crescent property, and that's in Kingston. In the UK, falling chocolate, sugar and jam prices helped food price inflation slow to its lowest level in more than 2 years. That's according to new industry figures from the British Retail Consortium. Competition between retailers drove prices on some goods down in March, but Easter treats were more expensive. It said the overall rate at which prices rose had almost halved to 1.3%, down from 2.5% in February. Now, food price inflation has fallen for 10 months in a row, but overall food prices are 3.7% higher than they were a year ago, down from 5% in February. And finally, in the currency markets, at the close of trading today, it cost 154 Jamaican dollars and 70 cents to buy $1, 196 Jamaican dollars and 19 cents to buy £1, and 114 Jamaican dollars and 49 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
New crunch sandwich from KFC. Great flavor, great price, it's for me. KFC signature, hot and spicy. Chicken with the lettuce, mayo, fries and Pepsi. We've got you covered when you're hungry. The new crunch sandwich from KFC. We've got you covered when you're hungry. The new crunch sandwich from KFC.
Hungry for deals? Get the new crunch sandwich combo from KFC. A small hot and spicy chicken sandwich with lettuce and mayo, plus fries and a Pepsi for just $600. Also available in barbecue. A finger-licking good deal. KFC.
The Jamaica Conch Cluster JCC has received a groundbreaking achievement in receiving the Marine Stewardship Council certification for the Jamaica Queen Conch. This means that the JCC can proudly bear the MSC logo, signaling commitment, sustainability, and profitability. Special thanks to the Government of Jamaica and its agencies and their implementation and funding partners, the Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility. For more information, visit the MSC website at www.fisheries.msc.org or contact them directly at conclusterjam@gmail.com.
Catch the E-Zone with me, the Stinger Honeybee, alongside
Kareem Boy Ting.
as we turn up the heat in the street.
New show,
new vibes.
Same us.
Same us.
Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
We'll bring you entertainment news.
We'll take away your Monday blues.
You don't want to miss a week with us.
We'll talk health.
Well,
jump into the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss the brain buster.
Or the crazy giveaways.
I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow.
You have been asking for justice. Well, get justice. The Ministry of Justice presents Get Justice, a program focused on giving Jamaicans information on how to resolve their conflicts and access justice services. The series will highlight the justice services of the ministry, to include social justice, estate planning, legal aid, and expungement. Join the discussion by calling 876-630-93714 or participate via their social media pages at MOJOfficialJM on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Get Justice with the Ministry of Justice every Thursday at 11 a.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Ministry of Justice, come access quality service.
MOJ, taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through in Olympic finals.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Lovely Williams Mills coming. McCrory flapping. Her arms are waving. And Lovely Williams Mills coming through for Jamaica's goal.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment! Let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering goal for Sharika Jackson. And how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide This Morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time now for the nation's business. It's 6:40 and we're turning our attention to what's being done to remedy the injustice inflicted on the Rastafarian community during the Coral Gardens incident. The Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, says the formal transfer of lands at Albion Heights in Montego Bay, St. James to the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society should happen within the first quarter of this financial year. Dr. Chang made the pronouncement last Friday during a ceremony to mark the 61st commemoration of the Coral Gardens massacre, dubbed Bad Friday.
This property ultimately belongs to the community. It has been approved, but the formal handing over will take a little bit more. The bureaucracy have to be at work. In fact, I expect that very soon, in this first quarter of the financial year, we'll have a cabinet submission to formally transfer it to the Coral Garden Benevolent Society. That is when you can get the title and call it your own.
Dr. Horace Chang, the Deputy Prime Minister. The Coral Gardens massacre refers to a series of events that occurred in April 1963, in which police and military forces arbitrarily detained, tortured and killed scores of Rastafarians. The government of Jamaica issued a formal apology in 2017 and established a trust fund for survivors harmed in the incident. Dr. Chang also pledged to provide resources to refurbish structures on the property.
At which point then you can put in the resource required to build out what is required. And you'll be able to not only develop an active cultural center, but also, my understanding, to move the current home from Norwood here. And we'll certainly provide some significant assistance in refurbishing the place. And I'm sure the structural state of the building, if they can be refurbished, we'll have to knock them down and start over. But there's enough land space here to provide a strong cultural and active economic and education center.
Dr. Horace Chang. Meanwhile, Rastafarian elder Muta Baruka says more must be done to remedy the injustice that was inflicted on the community during the Coral Gardens incident.
It can't be enough, man. You have man who couldn't go to school, little youth who couldn't go to school from them time there, where the testimonial the other day. We say them couldn't go to school because they did a hunt Rasta, a Rasta picnic get feel it too. And up to this day, you have a whole heap of people who get tormented by Rasta, by police over the years because of that Coral Garden incident and the Bustamante. And them still feel it. It's not like say it's done. It's a thing where it's an ongoing thing. You know, it's like a man robbing up your family.
Muta Baruka there. We're now being joined by Rastafarian elder Muta Baruka, social activist O'Dave Allen, and secretary of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, Pamela Williams. Welcome to Nationwide at 5.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, good evening.
Yes. Muta Baruka, if I could just pick up there with you, the more that you think should be done to remedy the injustice, talk to us about that.
Well, the more that should be done, well, they have to do something first before they say the more, you know. Because there's so much promises that have been made. Some is going through, but we realize the time government takes to do things, especially in this case, a lot of the elders, them who should have get the help, pass away. You know, so it's not like you can't go and wait, because it's people's lives you are dealing with. And right now, we see most of the brethren them and the sisters them who didn't involved in the Coral Garden thing, them pass away. You know, so when them say a lot more to be done, the ministers here come with an argument this weekend at the celebration, and say by the second quarter, which is June himself, specifically say June. So we're going to see what will happen. You know, we can't so we'll feel jump up in the air about it because it's a long time them say them are going to do this thing. Bob Granger also say some things and we should make some move. But we really need to see something happen before we can jump up and say, Ray, something is happening, you know. Mm-hmm. Because as far as I can see, it's laga until a whole heap of 1 year, you call me an elder now. This thing I go and go from me a picnic. You know, I pick me there. Me used to see Rasta's back at man. Mm-hmm. And now me reach at the stage where me and the youth I say, what me elder Muta? And I say, but wait, it's a serious thing. So how long we have to really recognize the injustice which has been well, the Prime Minister apologized, please. If you apologize to something, you take responsibility, please. Mm-hmm. And if you take responsibility, please, and we are talking about reparation now, what is it that you are repairing? And why is it taking so long to do the right thing? That is the question.
Well, let me ask the Secretary of the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, Pamela Williams, have the members of the community sat down and specify how that reparations should look, what form it should take, what are the specific things you are asking or looking to the government to provide?
Yes, we presented to the government a 13-point of recommendations. In 2016, and the 3 of the points refer to directly to the survivors, which have been addressed in terms of the apology, the cash compensation to those who are still alive, and health care. The government even went a step further to acknowledge that our request of to set up an elder care facility for those survivors who do not have caregivers. So that has been addressed. But the other 9 or so recommendations have not been addressed. In 2018, Minister Grange went into Parliament and announced that as part of community reparations, the 2 lots of land would be given to us in Albion, one for a permanent elder care facility and the other for an office for the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society. Also 50 acres of land for agricultural purposes and 3 scholarships. Well, none of those promises since 2018 have been fulfilled. There are other requests in the 13-point recommendation in terms of setting a policy, a written policy in respect of the wearing of locks in schools and at the workplace. That is so... every day we keep having to write letters on behalf of students so that they will be accepted in school because of that. Now, what is in that issue is that without a written policy, the school boards and principals are left to interpret their own application of the laws. And they talk about grooming in respect of locks. And they give us, they really, students with locks really go through quite a traumatic experience in school based upon the fact that they are, ostracized and all of that. So if there's a written policy...
So you're not satisfied with the current policy promulgated by the Ministry of Education. I believe it's still under consultation now, which allows Rastafarian students to wear their locks without covering.
Well, that is not happening.
No, but I'm saying the ministry has not promulgated the policy. That is the policy now.
Well, it is said so.
But you don't think the schools are enforcing? Okay.
In schools. Just last week, we had to write a letter on behalf of a student. So what we're saying is that this policy should be written, and everyone knows about it, and there ought to be some aspect of redress if persons continue to be discriminated against, or an agency to which one may complain. Because you say the minister says it, but it is not written and sent out to the schools. It is very similar to the sacramental rites of grandeur that Rastafari community is supposedly has, where it is the law was amended, but the police and the judges and all the court system have not been, educated in respect of those of the amendment.
So the enforcement of the rights, you want that follow through.
Right. So the community continues to suffer discrimination from the police, and even just the other day, one of our members was charged for the possession of ganja, and that ought not to be.
Yes. Dave Allen, speak to us about what's happening on the ground in Montego Bay, in St. James, frankly, where how Rastafari is, perceived and dealt with by agencies of the state.
Cliff, I would like to change the narrative. Too often we see the Coral Garden uprising or the Rastafarian as victim of the Coral Gardens uprising. And I think we need to change the narrative a little and be reminded that the struggle that caused Rudolph to be shot and killed by the police was about land. Land which is concrete in the struggle for dignity and food. And I think the rest are now, well, I would want to congratulate the Rastafarian Benevolent Society for the efforts that they have made for the government to make some redress to the plight of some of the brethren who were victims of the uprising. But I think that the Rasta movement need to move on now and take up the struggle, the anti-imperialist struggle, the anti-colonial struggle, to which gave rise to the Rasta movement in the first place, instead of petitioning the state for some palliative measures to be taken. We need to be aware that when we have to be beware of Greeks who bear us gifts, because in many instances these gifts could create division among the movement. And I just want to warn the brothers and sisters in the benevolent society to be warned against those possibilities, because people always believe that you get more than what.
But Dave, in 2025, when you urge them to pick up the anti-imperialist, anti-colonial struggle, give that some flesh for me. What are you talking about?
Well, let us look at the land issue in Montego Bay. 60% of the people in Montego Bay, even in the Rosal property, if they are not taken over Lilliput, they would not have even given land. So Rudolph started a struggle in 1963, and the struggle started before. It started with Bedwood and all of those other brethren that started the struggle before. And we still in Jamaica have this iniquitous distribution of land. If you look in Montego Bay, for example, most of the prime real estate are now being taken over by Asians. So the struggle continues. So instead of us looking at some palliative measures that is being offered, 50 acres of land here and there, we need to look at fundamental changes in the society.
Such as?
The iniquitous distribution of land. We could start with that.
If I could hear Mutabaruka, because I hear you, Dave Allen, but I think it's important if you could just let's take a step back. I want you, Mutabaruka, to just situate this incident, this uprising, this Bad Friday incident for us in terms of the history of Jamaica, and specifically the history of Rastafari in Jamaica, because for a lot of the younger people, they don't know why it's significant or why it should be commemorated or why there's a need for reparations. So situate it for us before we get to moving on to the other side of the struggle, as Dave Allen is saying.
Before I do that, right? I don't know who that virgin talking, but what I'm talking about, Rasta must take up anti-imperialism struggle. We have been anti-imperialist, anti-racism since Rastafari appeared upon this island, and that is what is our struggle. Land is power. If you don't have, as a matter of fact, most of the war that is fighting right now is over land. And when the Africans them did get so-called freedom, they never have no land. So we are fighting for land now, and there's a way that some choose to go and some choose not. Some people capture land, which most of Jamaican people capture them land. Now we are seen as a legitimate argument to say, all right, since we say we don't have land, part of our reparations for the elders and a whole for the rest of them is to acquire land legitimately with paper. I don't know other way. Lilliput people, them go take over the land. Little more white people come from over there and see them go build hotel, them have to move. We are talking about paper now. Paper we are dealing with. Sign a paper said this land belongs to the Rastafari movement, benevolent society. And then we confront something else. It's not that you leave in one thing to go to the next thing. It's that something is not done yet. And you're trying to make it be done so that you can move on. You don't want to say, it's time Rasta leave them things they know and go to anti-imperialism. That is our aim and objective. Imperialism, to get land for the Rastafari them who was displaced. It's a fight against imperialism. Anyway, so 63.
Yeah, when we say leave it and move on to the other things, do you get the sense that Jamaicans understand what happened and its significance?
Yeah, so all right. A Virginia Rudolph was planting food in a piece of land, a coral garden, and they tell him to move off of the land. And he said, but he can't move off of the land with him. They say, right, they will come back and move him. So they come there and start to burn down in place, match up the food, take away the food, and all them something. And they retaliate and they shoot him. He go to jail, and then he go in a hospital, and he have all sorts of things in his body to kind of make him almost feel like an invalid. And him decide him going to take revenge. So some man and him go down a Coral Garden gas station and burn down the gas station. Right? And then 2 man dead, I think it's 2 man dead down there from the gas station ownership. And that was the beginning of hell and firewater in the whole of Jamaica. Because it's in a Montego Bay happening, but the devastation that Alexander Bustamante got on a Montego Bay with and decided to go right now, every Rasta will move because there was from in the 50s, there was a direct aim to get to the Rasta because them said with a brother say they was anti-imperialism and them claim say the king of England is not for them king. So Bustamante was part of that push to get to the Rasta, plus the ganja thing was one of the main things them do. So the whole of them is mad people and things. So that is why them do what them do. So the Rasta them start to feel it. Where for days from Holy Thursday, the time, 1963, from Holy Thursday, and go right on. It's devastation. Devastation. We have testimony from elders who passed away where pregnant Rasta woman lose them children, them baby. One need tie up her man in a mattress for 3 days. 3 days. Because she don't want nothing happen to him. And Rasta man who decides the boy them don't want to go to prison. Some of them go in a barber shop and cut off them. So when them come out, police hold them and say, you are one of them too, you just go and go cut off them, go in a jail. And Bustamante was there with him gun on him hip. And I talk about right now, if the police should not hold them, Bogue Hill will hold them. I know Bogue Hill was a cemetery. And it go right through, Rastaman have to run through Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. Some end up at St. Thomas. All the youth them who was young Rasta at the time couldn't go to school. Them locked up with papa, cut off, and them think some of them still alive now to tell the tale. So when they was 8, 9, 10, them did see them father and mother have to run from them start to give £1, 1 shilling to capture Rasta. I don't know if I will people know that. But them offer £1, 1 shilling to the capture
Who offered that, Muta?
Private owners and people who aligned to the government.
Oh.
People aligned to the government and private owners. That we have to get rid of this scourge out of the country.
Oh.
Because that's what them used to call a black heart man, you know. Dirty Rasta, dirty nasty Rasta man, ganja smoking mad people.
And how do you think that perception that existed in the 50s and the 60s, how does it control how Jamaicans now interact and view Rastafari? Interact with and view Rastafari?
It still continues until today, where the average Rasta man or woman is looked down on when you go into any state agency. For example, you go to the hospital up to the other day, a couple of years, like a year and a half ago. An elder, his beard was trimmed in the hospital. Yes. So they still continue. You see, you might have 1 or 2 superstars who don't experience that kind of behavior, but the average Rastafari is discriminated against in various ways. Still.
Bob Marley say from him at 16 till him at 32, he's going to stop running from police.
So then, Pamela, I want to ask you: isn't that what we should be targeting then when we talk about reparations coming out of Coral Garden? Isn't that what we should be targeting? How the society perceives Rastafari?
Yes, exactly. I can read to you what a few of the recommendations that we made. That the state and societal prejudices, discrimination and harassment of the members of the Rastafari community, especially by the police, should stop. That is one of those recommendations. Other recommendation is for land to redress the situation, that we can provide food for ourselves as a community. Scholarships for children of Rastafari to redress again the situation where prior to these, to subsequent to the Coral Gardens incident, students, Rastafari youths were not allowed in school, and they still are being harassed when they were locked to school, even after this promulgation recently from the government. And we also are asking for the Ministry of Education to have a written policy, not just declare something and then tomorrow you forget about it. Have a written policy that the principals and school boards should adhere to, and also for the Ministry of Labor should have a written policy in respect of the wearing of beard and locks at work, because it still continues up to this day, the discrimination.
Pamela Williams is secretary of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, social activist Odev Allen, and Rastafarian elder Muta Baruka. Thank you very much. That's all the time we have for this evening. Thanks very much for the perspective and the history lesson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Us as well.
Appreciate it.
Important, I think, Cliff, to make the point that the policy is written, the policy from the Ministry of Education, the dress and grooming policy, as to the enforcement.
But it is still, it leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
Indeed.
And I think that is a weakness of it. Yeah. Let's go to the break. After the break, Nature's Remedies.
Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. Oh battery, when you good, you just good. Hey, had the national flavor, you go want to buy this pack. So good, it's just so good. Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. National Baking Company, just so good.
Super Center, everything for your home and more.
And we mean everything, not just houseware and appliances. At Zan Super Center, we have furniture too. Furniture for your living room, dining room, bedroom, kitchen, and more. Low on cash? At Zan Super Center, we have layaway plans. Don't delay. Come in today.
Zan Super Center, we're gonna make you smile. Zan Super Center, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Easter's a time for family, fun, and celebration. And at Chris and Charles, we believe that no bunny compares to you. Whether you're planning to party or going on vacation, Chris and Charles has low competitive rates and no guarantor up to $2 million. Why wait? Call 876-920-4189 or WhatsApp 876-838-9028 for loan options. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Good God have mercy, hey. Good God have grace, hey. Lord have mercy, hey. Spirulina build up me confidence. Rastafari run the continent. This King Selassie you pay the consequence. Don't get it confused. Lord, give me a buckle of spirulina and make me mix up the roots with Medina. Come off a
Well, you know it. It's a theme music for all things natural remedies. Yeah, it's called Nature's Remedies. Yeah, our expert guest, as usual, for the program, pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly. Good evening, Dr. Daly.
Good evening, Cliff. Good evening, listeners. Good evening, all. How are you?
It's been a little while. It's been a little while.
I know, it has been.
Yeah. Well, this evening, herbs for sperm health.
Yes, we're talking about men today.
Wow.
How can we improve health?
And as usual, we'll be opening the line so you can call in with any question you might have for Dr. Daly. Don't be shy now. Yeah, you're going to be learning about herbs for increasing the potency of your sperm.
Books, pay attention.
Yes.
So, Dr. Daly, tell me about sperm health. What do you mean by that?
Sperm health. So I wanted to share with one of the main issues men have when we talk about infertility, when we talk about not their prostate health. So let's look at the male reproductive system. So the penis, the scrotum, and most of the other parts of the organ are inside the body. Now, one reason why the testes or the the bags are outside is because we need a cool temperature to produce as much sperm. So we have to ensure that there's enough room so the testes is not at the same temperature as our body. So we need it to be a little cooler than our body temperature. And that's why it's hanging outside. So that also is needed for healthy sperms.
So, Dr. Daly, I have to stop you right there. So, when we're wearing the tight boxers and, the form-fitting boxers, you're telling me that might be affecting the health of the sperm?
It might be affecting the health of the sperm. It needs room to hang around, to swing, to move, and to be cool.
Yeah.
So it's important that, you have a little room there. So that's important to ensure that you have enough sperm being produced. And they're also quite motile. We need them to be able to swim fast.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yes. So another thing with our sperm, we want to make sure that our cell phones is a significant part of our moving about today. Cell phone and the infrared, all those waves that are coming from a cell phone can also be harmful to the sperms.
I lock my cell phone just to Dr. Daly.
Take it out, put it away. You want to keep it away from your body.
I love it just there, Doc.
That's a common practice, Yes.
It is. And we're finding more and more sperm counts are getting less and less as the generations are moving towards cell phone use is so rampant. And we put it everywhere, front pocket, back pocket, but you want to keep it as far away as possible. Even when you're sleeping, overall, you need to keep it not at your bedside, not on your bed, not under your pillow, but away, next room if needs be.
Really?
So you can have a restful sleep. Yes, even the blue lights when an alarm comes on or a missed call or a message. You want to keep that blue light away from your sleeping and definitely away from your scrotum and your testes or your testes. So those are some practices that we need to pull back.
So guys,
yes.
And that part is very important.
Yes,
important.
It bears repetition,
Yes.
Dr. Daly. Yes?
Yes.
This practice of having the phone between your legs, stop it. It is not good for your sperm health. Yeah?
It is not. It is not.
Wow.
And so those are some practices that's common today that we want to just get rid of. That you can make that first step in protecting your sperm, protecting your prostate, and your overall reproductive health. Now, in order for the sperm to penetrate, the sperm to get out of the body to do its purpose, which is either recreation or procreation. It's either you're going to make or you're just practicing. Either way, when the sperm gets out, we need the erectile muscles in the penis to be able to stand, to become erect. And oftentimes we'll find that is one of the issues, penetrating for copulation or for having sex, penetrating. So the penis is not standing up. So some herbs that can help and some foods that can help to, one, strengthen the penile muscle, increase the sperm count, the sperm vitality. We're looking to some of those. And some of the foods, we'll look at some of our Jamaican foods we always talk about. When last we had some peanut punch.
Yes. Yeah,
Good
still have my peanut punch.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, peanut punch is a very good nutrient drink or nutrient-rich drink that helps with sperm health. It has a lot of your iron, your omega fatty acids. You have the magnesium, the zinc, the calcium. And
Books go for female. Books just go for female. In peanut punch.
Ready.
Books come.
Good. So you have your peanut punch and you add your cinnamon, your nutmeg, spice it up because these spices also bring medicinal power to the punch. Steamed fish and okra.
Oh, good. Will we hear that from your little boy? Steamed fish and okra. It works.
It does work. And again, it goes back to the nutrient value. The fish produces or gives us a lot of our fatty acids or fatty acid vitamins like your vitamin A, vitamin D, your E, and your K. So it helps with that, plus your polyunsaturated fats. Those are good fats. So fish have a lot of that. Your okra has a lot of that as well, plus the fiber that the okra brings, the mucilage, it helps to build up the sperm and the semen. so it has enough energy to swim and to also move from its production point and out the body. So those foods are excellent.
And about how often are you recommending that we should be eating steamed fish and okra, drinking the peanut punch?
You know, we should be having fish every week. At least once a week, fish should be a part of your diet. Men or women. So men, I say 1 to 2 times. Get some fish source, whether it's your tuna, your sardine, or you steam your own fish and add your okra to it. So fish is a staple, well, not a staple, a protein that we should have once a week.
And it's better steamed than fried, I take it.
It is good steamed. I say frying again, if you're reducing the amount of fat intake, you definitely want to avoid frying. You can roast it as well. You can get the same effect.
Yes.
You know, put it in your oven and roast it. Or if you have it on the grill as well, less heat, or not less heat, less of your oil exposure. That's deep frying. Can be avoided.
Okay.
And Doc, I vaguely remember a study saying that excess okra could actually lead to low sperm count. They say it has a substance called, and correct me if I'm mispronouncing this, gossypol. And that could be detrimental to sperm count if eaten in sufficient quantities.
Oh,
that is true, because again, temperance is important. If we overindulge, the body will cause that elimination to happen. Now, you need a significant amount for that to have that elevated effect to start causing significant reduction in motility of your sperm.
Right.
Now, if you're having your few fingers of okra, your 4 to 5, and daily, it can be one of those nutrients that you add to your diet.
Okay. So once a week should be okay.
Yes, once, twice. Okra in small quantities is okay for consumption. We even have it raw as well.
All right, we're up on our first break. Let's take the break and come back with more.
we're talking about the health of your sperm, preserving it.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again. Live here halfway through an Olympic final.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Nobly Williams-Mills coming, with Rory flapping, her arms are waving, and Nobly Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's goal.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And support let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering goal for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
Dr. Daly is a corporate wellness and corporate social responsibility CSR strategist. She is also a former program director for the College of Health Services at the University of Technology. She does seminars, presentations, and workshops on herbs, herbal care, medicinal food, nutraceuticals, and functional food. Dr. Daly also has a skincare manufacturing company, Nassare R&M Company Limited. They make all-natural skincare and manufacture for personal consultations, small businesses, hotels, and villas. She is also a natural products consultant. You can contact her via email at drdenisedaily@gmail.com for bookings and consultations. She can also be found on Instagram and Facebook at Dr. Denise Daily.
Good God have mercy.
And remember, Dr. Denise Daly is with us. You can begin to give us a call. Yes, any questions you would like to put to Dr. Daly about improving the health of your sperm. She's here to tell you how to do that this evening through natural remedies such as herbs. So we learned of fish and okra, peanut punch. Yes. What else can you tell us, Dr. Daly?
Now we're going to talk a little bit about some of our roots. No, I don't know if you guys know of some of the root drink and what's in our roots. Any other herbs come to mind when you think of root drink in Jamaica?
Beetroot. I think of Irish moss.
Irish moss, yes.
The Irish
That's one
moss?
of the good ones as well.
Uh-huh.
But we have quite a number of different tonics across Jamaica. And if you go in different communities, the herbalist or the rootsman will have a blend for male vitality and aphrodisiac properties, just to boost up the sex drive. Now, most of our herbs so far, or tonics, have cheney root. A research was done by UWI with Dr. Mitchell, and out of 36 thereabout, all our tonics always having cheney root, always having sarsaparilla. So those are two herbs that we see constantly in our tonic drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the benefit of cheney root and sarsaparilla and why is it so integral as a part of the tonic is because of their effect on not only the sperm count, but the overall health of the male reproductive system. It has a lot of iron and nutrients. They are also adaptogens. We mentioned that some weeks ago. Now, adaptogens are these herbs that will help your body to rejuvenate. So if there's absence of a particular nutrient, this herb has the nutrient that can help. It has the zinc or the calcium or the magnesium to help your muscles grow and to help your sperm and your semen quality to be good. So these herbs, the sarsaparilla, the cheney root, are two of those vital herbs in our tonics.
Yeah.
And Dr. Daly, I want to hear a little bit more about the aphrodisiac. But just before that, we have our first caller. Richie's on the line. Good evening, Richie.
Right. Good evening. Good evening to the panel.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc. Welcome back.
Good evening. Thank you.
Wow, it's so nice hearing your voice again.
Thank you so
You're
much.
on the ball again.
What's the question, Richie?
No, not question. I have a lot to talk about. You don't want to hear me?
About men's health and herbs for sperm health?
Yes. Those are some of the things that I need to talk about. But Doc, before I get into it, we are living to a world which is like a small box. I have two daughters and a son in Canada. And I was talking to one of my daughters this evening about Dr. Camille. I said, Dr. Camille very well. She wants one of my products up there, I just call Dr. Camille, and she said, all you need to do is give it to my brother, and he will send it to me, and she will get it. But now, Doc, you're on the ball again. You mentioned about the hoko.
Yes.
Hoko is something I right now, I just have some hoko and fish. I have some dinner, and I leave them for tomorrow morning. The only time that hoko will hurt a person, if you heat it to a point your body is rejecting it. Okra is something I feed on almost every day. I done it over many, many years. And I am in full health, full energy. One of the things about it is very high in antioxidants. It cleanses the system very, very great.
Yes.
You talk about the peanut, the red trash and the peanut, it is what gives you energy. The red trash. I cultivated a field of peanuts some years ago. And it gave me so much energy that I heated a lot, and it gave me so much energy that I could not believe. And when I talked to a man, the man said, you know what, it's a red trash, I was working and I didn't have any roots. Because the root is always my medicine, give me the strength. And my skin started hitting me, which we call scratch. And I said to a man, the man said to me, go and get some of the red trash. I went to a man who do the peanut, and I said to him, brethren, send me some of the trash, and he said, no, sell it. The dash away. I said, tell me when you have some, and I get it. And quick, my skin stopped scratching me. The red trash is a Viagra. You talk about the chain root.
Hold on. Let me hear Dr. Daly and the trash, the red trash of the peanut. Is he on solid ground, Dr. Daly?
Yes, he is. And for years, we used to tend to get rid of it. When we roast our peanut, we start and we blow off the trash. The research shows that it has significant benefits, including a high percentage of your polyphenols and your essential fatty acids. So more persons started to keep the trash on and have it. So you definitely want the trash, that red portion that covers the peanut itself. You want that as a part of your blend when you're making it.
Okay. Go ahead, Richie.
Yes, sir. She talk about the chain root. That's a natural Viagra.
Yeah.
The chain root. Most people know about it. It's one of the roots that go underneath the heart. It looks like a stick, but it's coffee. You have another one.
It is what?
The cuff. It coffee. It looks like a piece of wood.
Uh-huh.
But it coffee have some bump on it. Bump on it.
Uh-huh.
It is a natural Viagra.
Oh.
We have another one.
Is that so, doctor?
Yes, that's the chain root we're talking about.
Yes. You have one we call cockstick. It's a natural Viagra.
Wait, name, Richie?
Cockstick.
Cockstick?
Yes.
Oh.
That's a natural Viagra. You have another one, which we call the king. This one is the king of the jungle. That's a nerve whisk.
Yeah.
That is the king of the jungle. In terms of nerve, someone else would have to show me another one which is better than that. The nerve whisk.
So Dr. Daly, these natural Viagras Richie is describing, what we do? We blend it up?
You make root drink. So oftentimes they are barks or roots. So you want to boil them and then let them ferment, or you can boil them and make a tonic drink out of it.
Okay. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Dr. Cummings put one of my herbal products together in pills and then run them down. Run down those pills for Viagra. And it is that one we tell about. The nerve whisk is the main one in it. It's extremely powerful. It is the king of the jungle. That's what I call it. But one that you did mention, I think I mentioned the other day, doc.
Yeah.
What do you call it again? The one that go on the ground?
The sarsaparilla?
No, man. I soon tell you. But anyway, I'm going to move on. When I remember, think about it.
All right,
But I'm
Richie.
saying to you, though.
All right, Richie.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate the call.
I remember cockstick. I didn't have cockstick on the list today, but I'm going to look up the scientific name for cockstick.
Yeah.
I remember meeting it once in the country. Those herbs that Richie just mentioned, we mentioned the chain root, the sarsaparilla, nerve whisk, or irisine. That is also one of the powerful herbs that's in our tonics. It's good for the nerves. It's a nervine, and it also helps with sexual health for men.
Nerve whisk.
Yes. Medina. Go ahead. Sorry.
And where do we find cockstick? You're just growing anywhere. Where we find that?
You know, across Jamaica, we have a lot of access to some of our herbs.
Yeah.
Some are only found in the cooler parts of the island. Like Kingston, you hardly find it unless you go up in the hills. But in the cooler parts of the island, you can find your chain root, your sarsaparilla, and so on. But in Kingston, that's a good thing about nature. There's Medina. You can find a lot of Medina and Moringa in your backyards.
Yeah.
You guys remember how Medina looks? It's a little flat shrub. Even if you have a lawn, you can have Medina present. It's also called moneywort or one-leaf clover. So it's really flat. Horses usually feed on it. And when the horses feed on the Medina, they're ready to go. Everything is standing and the vitality is ready and the stamina.
Stallion.
Stallion. There you go.
See. We have a next caller, Dr. Daly. Claudette, good evening.
Yes, good night. Good night to the lady and the plenty men.
Yes.
The bush, my youth just talk about where they grow flat on the ground. I made in a attack. You know, my
yes.
Speak up for me. Speak up for me.
Yeah, so a little bit distant.
Look here. You know, I'm glad to say, when I start about the phone and the thing there, because other day, I tell them, you know. Look here. You see the radiation, a dediation, you know.
The dediation.
No, Mr. The radiation, a dediation.
Yes.
All right. Listen, when a phone then hear a radio, when it's a ring or message, it's gonna hear it push off a sound before you get the phone.
Yes.
Ain't it?
Yes, yes.
You see what I talk about? Now the man them have it so close to them price possession.
Yes.
You hear them talk about sperm count and children and who can't have children, but some of them don't have none because them not take care of them. But listen, Mr. McLeod was come on with this.
Yes.
God knows, Mr. I forgot to pick up the phone and call.
Yes.
You know, so none of uno, when Margaret phone for uno can't sue neither doctor, lawyer, Indian, or thief. Not if the judge can't talk to them. Why? Never say for no right. Why?
You're saying it's self-inflicted?
Self-inflicted. So now you put it for yourself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
What now? Not read the fine print. The fine print definitely tells us don't care. I'm not personal, nobody. Because the vibration catching on the back part, what do call it, balls, you no problem. Catch on the front part, testicle, no problem. I wonder if you know what we are doing with ourselves with them device there. I take not. You think I knowledge alone to take it out, take all away. And what we know, you know, say, we put the phone in front of Father God. Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
You ever see somebody where can't find them phone and buy them, keep them phone for them and watch how them look?
Distressed. Very distressed when you lose your phone.
Yeah, but see anybody say them I look for them Father God and look distressful, so. Hey, me no laughing at it. Hey, yeah, my man.
Appreciate the Claude.
Yes, thank you.
Me hear talk about the search me out. After you travel all over the place, you know see it. Remember rock, it must go up on the door.
Yeah, search me out.
And do Jamaica rock. So we expect to find the search me out more of Jamaica for the rock. Now, you know the thing with the name Pusley? No,
where?
Parsley and Pusley. Pusley, the one that grow wild.
Yes.
The one that grow wild when my virgin said nobody no farm it, nobody no plant it, nobody no sell it, nobody no. They don't do not really care, we don't know the value of it. You know, so when me used to get pregnant with my children, them. Remember, 2 children, I have two of them. We used to sleep on a thing there. And I don't know if you hear about Nurse Hall. That's Dennis Hall, right?
Yes.
She always big me up feet, man. Me I tell you, the man said no other vegetable on earth not have been where the pussy have been. Where you see going on sidewalk and about in the plate no man.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a use.
Yes, ma'am.
The best thing so we not plate no man, me no man, me a woman. You know, so the best thing, no become my voice stronger than your one. You know, so the best thing is we always leave it alone.
Claude, I appreciate the call. Thanks for the call. Yes, Doc.
Claudette.
Yes, Claudette.
Have a good evening.
I was hoping that you would say something before we pick it up because I wasn't quite sure. It's 7:30. We're on the next break. Let's take the break and come back.
Spirulina build up my confidence. Rastafari run the continent.
The Integrity Commission Statutory Declaration form has changed. Download the new form and file securely within your organization before March 31. The time by the Integrity Commission is...
It's 7:30.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of The Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
So me go a up road and go link fever. What good for your nerves, so what's up and sapata. Coconut water fi wash off your heart.
Welcome back to Nationwide at 5. We're inside the segment called Nature's Remedies, and we have with us Dr. Denise Daly. And Doc, I have a question for you. So we've been talking about the health of the sperm, and I asked Cliff and Bugs, and them a laugh off of me. So I'm going to ask you, Doc, because I know you won't laugh at me. How do you know if the health of the sperm is weak? Is it watery? Is it the consistency? What should send off red flags?
Yes, so that's the other part I was going to talk about. Normally, in an ejaculation, 1 mil of ejaculation or cum, we'd say in back to our Jamaican terms, would have about 100 million sperm. The viscosity, it's normally thick enough where the sperm can swim, but not too watery. If this ejaculation or your semen is a combination of the fluid plus your sperm, if it's too watery, it's an indication that your body is a little stressed. You need to enhance it with some nervine, with some adaptogens, get some Medina or some donkey weed and make some teas if it's too watery.
Yes.
Oftentimes too, if the ejaculation, men would have different times when they ejaculate. If you have an average time and you realize that, again, your average time, this sexual act had a lower time, then you know, again, there's room for health improvement. You need to improve your health. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's stress. You have more things thinking about, so the penis is not becoming erect. Or your mind is not there, so your body just ejaculates or sends it out quickly. So you have to ensure that your body is healthy, your mind is healthy as well, because the body is working at its best to get the sperm out. But then everything else plays a role in its health.
Yes. But what about the color of the cum? Should be milky white or pale what?
Yes, it has a range, so it's not very milky, but it's white, pale white to about cream, beigeish. So that's a healthy color for your sperm. If you have extreme variations, again, you want to check to ensure that you have enough nutrients or vitamins and minerals you're getting into your body, and your protein source, having a good protein source. You need to build up your muscle. Remember, the penis alone is a muscle. A major part of it is the erectile muscle. So your protein is important, that you're maintaining your muscle health as well.
And what would you recommend as that good protein source?
Regular proteins, because whichever protein source you take in, your body reconstructs the proteins you want. So if you're a vegetarian, you can have your beans and your rice, your corn and your rice, whichever ones. You want to ensure that you have a full complement as a vegetarian, your soy, etc.
Yes.
If you are not a vegetarian, whether it's your fish, your chicken, your beef, etc., those protein source, once we chew and we break it down, our body uses the amino acid and make what we need to survive. So it'll be good.
Good. We're taking your calls for Dr. Denise Daly. Yes. And who we have?
Richard.
Richard.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies.
Good evening, Richard. The man from Portland.
Yes, the great parish of Portland, man.
Yes.
Yes. For a person who having vision problem, in the sense that you go out in the sun and everything is blurry, when in the dark or in the artificial light, it's not a problem. What herb would you recommend for that?
We're not talking about vision today, you know. We're talking about sperm health.
Yes, but Mr. Hughes, if that no good, you're not gonna able to have we call it.
If you can't see.
You want to ensure that you have.
You can't see. You don't know where to go. True. Yes, Dr. Daly. That is true.
So get your beta carotene in. So you can look at food options and herb options. So for food, mangoes, your carrot, make some carrot blends. Have your beetroot in it as well. That helps to increase your beta carotene and those yellow compounds that help to build up your retinol. You want to look at your moringa. Moringa is one of those herbs that that can be added as an everyday tea.
Yes.
Rosemary is also good as an everyday tea, or you can just add it to your cooking. It's a good herb, or whether it's a savory dish or to just make it as a tea. Rosemary is very good for that as well. Flame of the forest, that's good for the eyes as well. Cannabis, if you're making the tea, not with milk, is also good for the eyes. So moringa is readily available. Leaf of Life is readily available. And get your orange foods in as much as possible.
Yeah.
So what would be the major cause for a person to take long to ejaculate?
Taking long to ejaculate.
Drink too much of the peanut punch.
Or the stone, which is actually one of those exudates, we call it, from the tree bark. We don't see it as much anymore, but it also has a significant aphrodisiac effect and delayed ejaculation. Now, naturally, when you have that delayed ejaculation, is where your body is able to control the sperm leaving the epididymis. That's where it is made. And it's a natural and healthy part once it's not enhanced by anything external. And health plays a significant role in that. So that's fine.
Because like I've been asked all the time, what happened to you? You can't.
No, you don't come here and promote yourself, Richard. Good night. Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
That is good. That is good. That means you're healthy and your sperms are coming out.
Live at it.
Come promote yourself.
Live at it.
But no, you know what I'm picking up, Doc? That a lot of the things that we say in passing, colloquially, here in Jamaica, there's threads of truth in it, because we talk about, for example, wheat jellyback, and I hear you saying just now that it's important to be healthy, the body being healthy, the mind being healthy, and that's an important part of ensuring that the sperm is healthy.
Yes, it is true. And our everyday ups and downs play a significant role in how well we will produce these sperms and maintain them and allow them to swim. Because again, each of us is one lucky sperm. But if we can't reach to the egg, then we don't have that. We have that fertility issue happening.
I see a question here on YouTube for you, Doc. Carlene Smith is asking, what are the occupational risks associated with low sperm count and erectile dysfunction?
Occupational risk.
You depend on the work, and I suppose if it's stressful, if the job is stressful.
Yeah. Well, no significant risks come to mind in terms of occupational, unless, as you mentioned, if it's mental health and stress. But in everyday life, once you're not using the penis on your job, then it should be fine. But when you are using it in terms of occupation, you want to ensure that your mental is well.
Well, depending on the job,
Precisely.
Kirk is asking Doc. Cliff asks the doctor, which herb can be used to remove blasphenol, a toxicity from the body? Blasphenol.
Blasphenol.
Blast, as in B, as in blast.
Bisphenol. Bisphenol.
Bisphenol.
Yes.
Bisphenol.
It's not
Yes.
blast.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so bisphenol is
bisphenol.
Bisphenol is one of the compounds that's in plastics. It's BPA, we call it. And I have it here in a part of the notes, xenoestrogen. Xenoestrogen is estrogen that comes from environmental toxins. And BPA, or bisphenol, is one of those compounds. We have PCBs, we have PEs as well, other compounds. Now, what these xenoestrogen does, what they mimic estrogen that women have. Men have minute quantities of estrogen. It mimics estrogen and increases the amount in our men, or it mimics the production, or it promotes the production of estrogen in our men. And this also impairs or prevents or reduces the functions of the sperm, because men don't need a high quantity of estrogen. And when that happens, it interferes with the health of the overall reproductive system. So you want to really avoid plastics. And a research was done where 21 men who had infertility issues, and they had 32 men that did not have infertility issues. And what they found was a lot of bisphenol, BPA, and your PCB, a lot of components in plastics and food were found in the semen for the men that had infertility issues.
Oh.
And this reduces the sperm count to about 20 mil.
Yes.
Thereabouts, I'll give you the exact, or 30%. And that's why they were having the infertility issue. Now, a lot of our foods are showing these BPAs, like fish.
Yeah.
And in that particular research, they were comparing fish from rural areas and fish from urban areas. Vegetables from rural, vegetables from urban. And those fish that were in the urban areas, the men had a higher amount of environmental toxin, those BPAs, the xenoestrogen. So again,
and that's the amount of plastics the fish would be consuming, for example, coming out of communities. Yeah.
And because those plastics, we discard them in our waters, they take years to break down, but they slowly release these compounds into the water. Yes. Are there, the plants are there, and it then eventually becomes a part of our system. So we have to ensure that where we're getting our food plays an important role in our health as well.
Any link, Doc, between excessive masturbation and low sperm count or bad sperm health?
Yeah, why are you talking your business?
Cliff Hughes? Cliff and Boots. I'm asking the questions I know the public wants answers to. That's my job. So yes, Dr. Daly. Ignore the penny section.
With masturbation and frequent ejaculation. So let's say frequent ejaculation, whether it's masturbation or copulation.
Yeah.
Your sperm needs enough time to rebuild. So every time you ejaculate, it's like you're emptying the epididymis. You're emptying the sac of what was produced. Now, your diet plays a role, the amount of exercise you do. So if you constantly empty the sac, you eventually become very tired. And that's where you find, the number of rounds a man can do in one settings or a couple of hours. They need to build up back their vitality and also build up back the sperm count and the quality sperm. Because you may have the semen come out, but it gets watery as you keep ejaculating, because the sperm quantity is not being built up. Yeah. It's not getting enough time to build.
So give it time to recuperate. Yes,
like
Dr.
all you need 2 weeks.
Up on the next break, Cliff Hughes. Dr. Janice Daly is with us. The Nature's Remedies is the segment. So till the next break and come back.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff Hughes talking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Cliff Hughes really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Dr. Daly is a corporate wellness and corporate social responsibility CSR strategist. She is also a former program director for the College of Health Services at the University of Technology. She does seminars, presentations, and workshops on herbs, herbal care, medicinal food, nutraceuticals, and functional food. Dr. Daly also has a skincare manufacturing company, Massacre R&M Company Limited. They make all-natural skincare and manufacture for personal consultations, small businesses, hotels, and villas. She is also a natural products consultant. You can contact her via email at drdenisedaily@gmail.com for bookings and consultations. She can also be found on Instagram and Facebook at Dr. Denise Daly.
Good God have mercy. Hey, good God have
13 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. We're talking sperm health with the pharmacognosist Dr. Denise Daly. And we have been learning a lot, yes. And Ricardo has been very frank and honest in putting on to Dr. Daly the issues he's been contending with. Yes. Good evening again, Dr. Daly. Yes, Dr. Daly. So let me ask this. I want us to recap, yeah, the major takeaways for this evening. Yeah, what should we do and not do in terms of maintaining the health of our sperm?
Okay, great. So one, we need to remove the cell phones from our pockets, from our laps. The infrared, the rays from the cell phone are damaging to our sperm. And there is also heat from the cell phones. So men, keep the cell phones away from your testes, away from your reproductive area. Two, you also want to ensure that your clothing, your underpants, your pants have enough room for your scrotum, your balls, your testes to move around, because they're outside the body, because they need a cool temperature to produce sperm and to ensure health. So ensure that it's able to breathe and it's not as hot as the body temperature, about 2 to 3 degrees lower than your body temperature. Your diet plays an important role in your sperm health. So there are a significant amount of foods that you can add to your diet. Guava, we didn't mention guava, but guava is very good adding to the diet. And prostate health, your guinea hen weed tea is also good for your prostate health for men. So ensure that you have those teas. Peanut punch, your okra, steamed fish and okra, your pumpkin seed, your hemp seed, these also help to improve the health of your sperm and the health of your reproductive system. So those are some takeaways. Remember your cabbage. Cabbage is a cruciferous. It helps to clean and detox the system as well and help to promote health and get rid of some of these BPAs and the xenoestrogens from environmental toxins that can cause impairment in sperm production and motility.
Wow.
Yes. So try to make some teas, herbal teas, or you can make some tonics with these herbs.
And you also strongly recommend the fish and the okra.
Fish and okra is great. You have those essential fatty acids that's needed for health. Yes.
Yeah. And I see your YouTubers asking you to stress the point, Dr. Daly, about the tight-fitting clothing, because Jamaican men, there's this fashion trend now, skinny jeans. Yeah, especially among younger men. They want to be in skinny jeans.
It is true, and it's significant because we're now seeing that the tighter the pants, the less movement the testes have, and therefore the ejaculation is often quicker, and infertility also arises with a lot of the other practices that they are also doing. Having the phones nearby, not a proper health or diet regime, mental health issues. So we're seeing all of those tying in to some of the infertility issues we're having today.
Did I hear you correctly just now, Dr. Daly, that it may also be contributing to faster ejaculation? So they're becoming 1-minute men because of the tight clothing?
The tighter it is, yes. Your body is not working well under the temperature, under the conditions. So therefore, ejaculation, it just comes out at a quicker pace, or even the penis is not as hard as it could be because of some of these issues.
Here's one on WhatsApp for you, Dr. Daly. Ask her if sleeping naked is good for sperm health then. Nudity should be good.
Yes. Yes. When we're sleeping, we want to ensure that we're as free as possible.
Yes.
Yes. And naked is good, and ensuring you have enough aeration really does help.
Uh-huh.
And keep your entire body cool, because it's going to be 2 to 3 degrees outside of your body temperature. So make sure you're cool as well.
Oh, so sleeping in the nude can be good for you.
Yeah, or even if you have on a boxers and it's still aerated
Mm-hmm.
through the legs, that's help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a time for another caller for Dr. Daly. Yes. Juliet Sanchez on YouTube say yes, it's good, Cliff. Yeah. Oh, you know that, Juliet. Huh? Elizabeth says I can't sleep naked. Megan Walker said free. Yeah. Cornell Elvey, cow foot and cow skin. That good for the sperm health, Dr. Daly? Cow foot and cow skin are fat.
It has mucilage, and that mucilage helps with building up the semen because of the nutrients it gives. It has a lot of amino acids in it, and it has the polysaccharides that help to give that slimy movement and help with motility, similar to what the okra has as well, mucilage.
Oh, okay.
And Doc Kirk is asking if you could specify which herb can remove bisphenol A toxicity from the body.
So for the removal, you can look at cabbage. Cabbage is good, your cruciferous vegetables. Your broccoli, those have your NERF1 enzymes. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago. They're found in the liver, so it helps to detox chemicals, whether it's environmental or within our food, outside of the body. You also have your guinea hen weed, DTS. That helps with liver detoxification as well. And your watergrass and Damiana. I don't remember if you guys know Damiana or Turnera. We call it ramgoat dashalang.
You call it what?
Or ramgoat dashala. Ramgoat weed, ramgoat dashalang.
Oh, yes, yeah, about the ramgoat weed.
Yeah, it's normally on our roadsides, bright green leaves and beautiful yellow flowers, like sunshine yellow flowers.
Oh.
So that's a good herb as well. It works well with the liver, and it's also an aphrodisiac.
Oh.
It helps with all of your sperm health and your prostate health as well.
Here's
Dandelion,
one.
I can't leave out dandelion. I have to drop it in there. Dandelion is good as a liver detox and also helps with reproductive health.
Yes. Corey B says, Cliff, angels don't visit those who sleep in the nude.
Yes. You're told that whenever you sleep in the nude, the angels won't visit you. And that's not a good thing. Well, Dr. Denise Daly, I want to say thank you very much, yes, for keeping us informed with nature's remedies. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Daly. Really appreciate it.
You're most welcome, and it's always a pleasure to share what nature has in store and hope we can use our resources.
Good.
So remember, eat some teas and some tinctures and be healthy.
Yes.
Books took a lot of notes. Yeah, man. Books took a lot of notes. Yeah.
They love the peanut punch.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
That's where we're going to leave it for this evening. Want to say thanks to all of our callers, our contributors, our YouTubers, our tweeps, our WhatsAppers. Thank you so much. Our producer, Sonia Stewart Perkins, and of course, our technical operator, Andrew Anderson. And to the members of the news and production team, I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Ricardo Brooks, and this may yet become a big show. It may yet become a big show.
It shall.
Bye, I put on.
I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Reminding you, take care of the loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
Good night.